Hi guys, I wanted to come on here and just have a little chat about yeah, just I may have mentioned a little bit before about my struggle with controlling things. Um and I think I've always had an issue with control. Some of that spans a little bit from my childhood, always needing to have control because of my life being out of control with like circumstances that my family and I were in. Um, yeah, being out of control a little bit with schooling as I needed lots of extra help. Just being out of control in general, and so therefore I like clung to some things and tried to put things in little boxes. And I've this realization came to me in, I want to say 2021, July of 2021, so pretty much exactly 2 years ago. I think I went on I'll give you the background. I went on a spiritual retreat, a spiritual wellness retreat. At this stage, I was working 4 days a week, 5 days a week, and I was having lots of, I wouldn't call them panic attacks, but like fright or flight moments. Like I needed to get out, I needed to go. And I started having those moments when I split up from my ex. I'd never had them or experienced them before. And they were really, really bad at the beginning. But yeah, they were getting worse, and my moods were all over the place. And I literally had days where I was like, I need to get out of the house right now, even though I'm going to work 45 minutes early, because if I don't go now, I won't go at all. And so I always had to push myself to do more, to keep going. So I went to this wellness retreat thinking that I was going to heal from my breakup, because I hadn't fully healed about my breakup, hadn't fully healed about fertility. Don't ask me if I'll ever fully heal from either of those two things. I'm not sure. But anyways, during this well-being retreat where I was on a specific diet, and we had all these sessions, and they were really good. There were all these coaching sessions. There was about, I want to say 8 to 10 of us, maybe 12 of us tops. There was yoga every morning. I only did yoga a couple mornings, I think. There was like a bunch of different things during the day. There was like some walks and stuff. You could choose to or not choose to do things. I mostly did everything. Anyways, in the evening, one of the sessions was actually a dance session. Now, at this time, I struggled heaps with dance, but I thought it was really just, like, I struggled with moving my body. But I thought that I struggled most with going to the bar and moving my body in a certain way that would make unwanted attention or give off like a vibe that I didn't want. So that's what I thought it was. So I went into this class, and I was fine at first because it was like move like this or move like that, and this is how we do this and this is how we do that, and I was all right with it until the free dance came along. And then it was free dance for a minute. I was in a safe space with a bunch of girls, and I couldn't do it. I did do it. I did. I pushed through and I did it, but I literally felt like I wanted to curl up in a ball and cry. And that is the one thing I took away from that I hated. Now, the good thing about doing that was I realized it had nothing to do with unwanted guy attention, because I was in a room, I was in a safe space with a bunch of women. There was no guys there. There was no one to judge me. Yet I couldn't move my body because I had to release control to do that. So that made me think about my issue in my marriage with intimacy. And I was like, holy crap. I couldn't fully give in to his wants, needs, and desires the way that he wanted to. I mean, he was addicted to porn, so he had unrealistic, and he was pushing me to do a lot of things I didn't want to do, and pushing me to like do things quickly. We do one thing hurdle-wise for myself, and then it was, okay, we've done that, now we need to, what's the next one we could do? And that was just too much for me. But a lot of it, again, came down to control. I could not give in control. So I never fully let my walls down. And that sucks. Because this was a person that I chose to love. Every single day I got up and I loved him with every ounce of my fiber. And I can say that 100%. Yet I couldn't become as vulnerable as I wanted to lose control. I had to remain in control. Therefore, there was barriers that were put up. So I started to work through these issues. And as it has shown, I started doing dance classes, and I'm trying to push myself to do more things like the Tough Girl Challenge. And I put up boundaries when it came with my mom. I was picking what I could control and what I couldn't control, and trying to, I can't control how somebody else feels. I can't control what somebody else does. All I control is what I do, what I say, how I feel. And sometimes that means putting in boundaries so that I guess to a certain extent I can stay in control. But that I also safeguard my well-being. And so I did those things when I went home for the first time. I still had a shit time at home, let me tell you. Love my family. Yes, there was moments that I loved and enjoyed with my family. 100%. You know, that is my childhood. That is my link. I did some amazing things at home. But I had a pretty crap time. A lot of it. But I put boundaries in place, and I had boundaries in place so that if things, they were shit, but in a way that I could handle, if that makes sense. And yeah, so I've been working through all of this. And I decided for my PGC, I sat down and had a conversation. So professional growth cycle. I have to do this to be able to be a teacher here in New Zealand. Every 3 years it gets renewed, and they have to see that you're growing as a teacher. So one of the things is one of my mentors sat down with me, and we talked about my leadership position that I had and how I felt like I did a crap job like this and why I might have done a crap job. Now she said, you've not done a crap job at all. You've just sounds like you've had a really bad team, but it does sound like you need to work on things. So I am one of these people that likes to come alongside and help people, But my help is more giving them answers rather than letting them come up with answers for themselves. So I am doing leadership question of facilitating questions, and it's tell me more about that. How did you feel doing that? Can you tell me a little bit more about that? And what was the outcome in that for you? Those types of questions. How, what, when. Never why. Never why. Because why all of a sudden, like, get your defenses up. So we've learned never to say why. But yeah, through this, I was petrified to do my first observation on somebody, and I was using these sorts of questionings with them, and it's not normally the style that I am. So I was stopping and pausing and giving them opportunity to answer, not interluding, not interceding. Not giving them any, not putting any ideas or thoughts in their mind, but letting them come to their own understanding. And yeah, and that's part of me giving up control. I am not able to control what they think or feel or do, nor should I as a mentor, because as a mentor, I'm there to come alongside them to help them achieve their best potential. That is not about giving them what I think that they should be doing or ideas that I think of. It's letting them come to their own understanding of what they need, what they feel, what they want to do, what their thoughts are on certain things. And so that was really hard, and it just baffled me that I'm working on control in my personal life, yet it's seeping into my professional life. And what has also just happened is that it's also seeping into my spiritual life. So I had home group last night. It's last night, Thursday? Yes. Last night. And the sermon was on called for Christ. So we're going through our mission statement. We are a church. We are a group of people called in Christ or for Christ to community. I don't actually know the rest of it. Like to serve, whatever it is. Sorry, I can't. Like, we say it all the time. I should know, but I don't. Anyway, so we talked about for Christ, and it was so interesting because it's like deny yourself and take up my cross. And I've been doing scripture, and I'm on day 21, I think now, of reading it. I go through stages where I get every day I read it, and then I miss a day and then I screw up. But I am on day 21 at the moment, so I am going strong, and it's about me choosing God. So first thing in the morning, I'm choosing, instead of scrolling on my phone, to listen to scripture. It's 90 days of going through Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It's one chapter a day, so there must be 90 chapters over the space of the 4 books. And I'm doing that every day. And I'm choosing to listen to worship music on my way to work instead of secular music. And I'm just intentionally spending more time with God. And that is me dying to self, because I know that there's other things that I want to do and do, and doing that. And by doing that, I have seen a significant change in my moods. I am not getting, like in my psychology report from May, where I was getting every 10 to 20 days, especially around my period, a super low day that I couldn't get out. I'm not getting those days. And when I am feeling down, I do still get the moments where I feel down. But when I am feeling down, I'm actually able to pick myself up, brush myself up, put some affirmations into my mind, or a scripture verse or song or something, and it brings me out of it, and I'm able to not wallow in those moments. I'm also not feeling as alone. At one point in time, I was feeling very alone. And I really wanted a boyfriend, and yes, I still really want a boyfriend or a husband. But like, I'm okay where I am, and I want to get to this. Yeah, I like where I'm going now. I like that I'm just drawing the strength from God. And it just baffles me how encompassed this control topic has been for me. And as you know, it's come from the littlest thing of like my well-being, and then it's come into my work life, and now it's come into my spiritual life, and I'm just like seeing the ripple effects of how God just, I'm such a reflector, so how God used that one incident of hey, we're gonna have a free dance, and the ripple effect of that one experience as I reflected on the like tight, I'm gonna die type experience, which it wasn't, obviously, but that's what I felt like. That immediately put me into that fright, and I don't have that anymore. I'm getting free from that. It's profound for me. I don't know if it's profound for anybody else hearing this, but it's profound for me. And hopefully the people that do really care and are watching this religiously, pretty much, are watching this at each and every episode, are just like as awestruck as me at how amazing it is that something so little, literally 2 years and 3 months ago, how something so little, like experience of dance, has had this ripple effect to where I am today. And I am not exactly where I want to be yet. Not by a long shot. I have so much control to still give up. And I still need to die to myself more. I still need to stop thinking what people think. I've said to people at work who are always questioning whether or not I will sleep with someone, they're baffled at the fact that I've only slept with one person, and I don't intend to sleep with anybody else until I'm married again. And people are baffled by that. And then I stupidly say something like, well, you know, if it ends up happening, then it's fine. Why do I say that? Why? Because scripture is very clear about that. And I've already done it once, so I know I can do it again, because it's about that mutual respect and that conversation between one another. And I 100% think I could live with someone and be in 2 separate bedrooms. And look, 100% think I could live in the house and be in the same bedroom. But I wouldn't do that, because I think it's way too much temptation. At least if it was 2 separate rooms, it's a little bit easier to say those are off limits. And obviously I know things can happen in other areas of the house. I'm not stupid. But yeah, like, I think you've got a mutual respect, and you have this conversation, and you both agree that you're going to wait. Now, whether that means that you are together for 3 months, or you're ready and get married, or you're together for a year and get married, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I do know that I want to wait again, and I'm going to stop saying that I am okay if I screw up, because I shouldn't be okay if I screw up. I should want to do this for God and for me, to actually have the proper treasure and blessing that is supposed to be. I'm not saying have it back, because you know what? I never had that treasure, that specialness. I waited the first time. I never had any of that. 100% never had any special, any treasure. It was actually hell. Now I'm going to actually go to the doctors and try to figure that out as well. Why it was so, why there's so much pain and stuff. But that was never a loving, mutual, intimate relationship. The next time, it's going to be. I'm going to make sure that it is before I am stupid enough to do anything like that. Before I'm stupid enough to get married. Yeah. Yeah. Rules and regulations and boundaries will be in place. That's 100% sure. But yeah, the control will be there, but it will be God guiding it, I guess, and helping me to live the life that He wants me to live, is what I'm trying to say. And the life that I know I should be living. And I know that human gets in it, and so mistakes happen, but I also know that if you cover it in prayer, and yeah, I know that you can do it because I've done it already. And I'm really happy that I did it already, because it kind of proves to myself, because things were so much different then, and if I could do it then I can do it now. And because that wasn't such a beautiful experience, it will almost be like a do-over of what I've always envisioned a feeling like. Yeah, the treasure and specialness being back. And I guess the oneness. Yeah. But anyways, that's just what I'm thinking. So anyways, that's just what I wanted to share about my control journey, and that's kind of where I'm at the moment. I'm excited to keep going down this path to find out more about control and how it holistically fits, and how I'm breaking down these control issues and trying to find out more about ways that I can safely give up control, in a way that is pleasing to God, in a way that is keeping my well-being safe, and a way that is stretching and challenging me to constantly grow outside my comfort zone. I feel like I'm going from strength to strength to strength right now, and I'm so happy that is happening. I miss the chaoticness that is coming about in my life. No update on my eyes yet because I haven't heard from them, but I'm going to try to call them either tomorrow or Sunday to find out and get their no. So yeah, that is what's happening with my glasses. Anyways, I'm going to go to bed because it is almost 10:30 and I have been up since 5:50. So I am tired. Anyways, was able to have a great conversation like this with someone tonight, who's a Christian as well, and I'm hoping that I can have more of this. Like, I'm hoping to get more of this in. I'm hoping to say more about God and my faith and just share it more, not in a way that is you're right and I'm wrong and I'm doing better than you are, or any of that kind of like judgment, or disclaim, you know, like, I'm not saying if you chose not to wait that you are a bad person. I know a lot of people who have chosen not to wait, or one thing has led to another, and whatever. Christians, non-Christians, people who married each other, people who haven't married each other. But in the end, that's your choice, and that's between you and God. That's got nothing to do with me. And my job is to love and circumvent everybody, and I want to try to do that better, because I know that I don't do it to my full capacity right now. So yeah, that's just, everybody is doing the best that they could possibly do for themselves in the moment, in the time that they are. I'm just talking about my journey, not in retrospect to anybody else's spiritual or professional or well-being or anything else, mentally, intellectually journey. I'm just sharing mine. So yeah, if you don't like what I said, I'm sorry I've upset you, but I'm just sharing my journey. So that is my disclaimer there. Anyways, I'm gonna go to bed. Leave a comment if you want to leave a comment. Nobody really does, but if you do want to, you can leave a comment. You can tell me I'm a piece of crap for what I've said. I don't care. Like I said, it's my journey and it's my story. And yeah, I just wanted to share with you what I am learning. Have a good evening. Have a good weekend. We are about to change our clocks tomorrow night, so I'm going to lose an hour sleep tomorrow night, which is so annoying because I hate when we spring forward. I just wish we didn't have it at all. I wish you could always be late at savings, but whatever it is, what it is, and it can't be that way. So talk to you later. Bye.